Is Made Easy, episode 29, and today I'm talking to Alex Boxall from AKA Jewelry, and she's talking all about work-life balance and how she's been able to build a business that pays the bills while she had a baby. So I hope you stick around.
Welcome to the Product Biz Made Easy podcast, where we help you scale your product-based business. Your award-winning host and serial entrepreneur, Becky J. Anderson, created an 8-figure product-based brand that was sold all over the world and in big box retail stores. Each week, she will be sharing sales strategies, marketing advice, or inspiring interviews to help you scale your product-based business. Now, on to the show.
Hey, Alex, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited, a little bit nervous, but I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, no reason to be nervous. Everybody's excited to hear what you have to say, and we're excited to have you. So for those that don't know you, tell us about your business and what type of products that you sell.
Absolutely. So I am Alex, like Becky said, and I own Alex Kaplan Accessories. So I am a handmade jewelry company based out of Saskatchewan in Canada. And I mainly use gemstones in my pieces because they are one of a kind, they're beautiful, and they're incomparable, just like you and I.
Oh, I love that. You've got a great, unique selling proposition. I love your business, and you've been in my mastermind this year, and I've loved watching your business grow. So I'm super excited to have you on the show and share all about your business with the listeners. So tell us, how did you get started in your business?
I have always dabbled in making jewelry. My mother can attest to that with all the wire wrapped rings I gave her for like Mother's Day as a kid. And it really evolved into more of like a creative outlet when I was in human resources. And what ended up being a hobby turned into a necessity when I got married and moved to a small town. And there wasn't much for job opportunities. So my husband and I decided that I would give my jewelry making a try and see if I could make a business out of it. So I have actually been doing it as a business since 2014.
I love it. 5 years, and you've made it work, and you've grown it, and it's doing great. Tell us, how did you get the first sale?
Oh, the first one, I honestly don't remember the very first one, but I was invited to this little trade show at a garden center or a greenhouse, sorry.
Yeah.
And I took a bunch of stuff that I had made in my spare time, and I sold one pair of earrings to my mom's friend. And I left going, I am never doing this again. It was quite disheartening. But then from there, I would just post things on Facebook, just on my own personal page, and be like, hey, look at this cool thing that I made. And people actually started asking if I could make them for them. So it sort of evolved from there. It was disheartening at first, but I didn't actually intend for it to be a business, but that's just how it went.
Then it turned into one. But you really did plan on it being a business because you were making your own job. On the flip side, it's like, when did you do the website and start going wholesale and that type of stuff? Because you have turned into a real legitimate business that can pay your bills.
Yes. So when my husband and I decided to do this, I started on Etsy. So that's all that I kind of knew about at that time.
Oh, I'm going back to when you had your very first sell then it wasn't going to be a business, but after you and your husband decided, let's make it a business, that's when you started putting, okay, go ahead.
So it started off as like a hobby, and I did that show, and I didn't mean for it to be anything more, and I didn't think it would be anything more because I only sold one piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
So then the winter that we got married, I started my Etsy shop, and I think I Googled all the Googles and figured out what to do. And within the first couple weeks, I would say, I made a couple $1,000s, and I was blown away. I had no idea what to expect. So lots of things from Germany, or going out to Germany and across the world.
That's great. So then you went from Etsy to doing your own website.
My own website. So eventually I switched over to Shopify because I had always heard that, when you're on Etsy, people are like, where did you get that piece of jewelry? And most people respond with, I got it on Etsy, versus I got it from AKA. So I knew that having my own branded website was kind of the next step in where I wanted to take this business and make it more legit in a sense.
So how did you figure out how to do a website? Did you just Google everything and do it yourself, or did you hire that out?
I did it all myself. So I went onto Shopify because I had seen a few other friends who had been on it. And I would say that I'm fairly tech savvy. So I was like, how hard can it be? So I found myself a cheap template. Actually, I think it was one of the free templates on Shopify. And then just plugged and played around until it looked kind of reasonable.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a social media following at that time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have this shop announced in however many weeks. And I put it out there. And so I had to work night and day to get this website up.
That's great. And that's inspiring to people that want to start their own business and they don't think they can do their own website. I think Shopify's made it so easy with the drop and drag, and between that and Google and their customer service, it's not that hard.
Is unreal, and it's pretty user friendly. So I feel like almost anyone could get started using Shopify.
Yeah. So are you all handmade now still?
Mostly handmade. There's a few things that I curate from some of my suppliers around the world, but for the most part, I make all the pieces myself in my little studio here in Nipawin.
That's great.
And it's awesome. It's a really amazing thing that I've been able to create for myself.
That's great. So in the 5 years you've been in business now, how have you grown the business? Where are your avenues of distribution? Like, how are you selling your products other than just Etsy and your website?
So now I am mostly on my website. I also attend a lot of pop-ups and events. I sell a little bit of wholesale. I was definitely more active in my wholesale a couple years ago, but then a few things changed in my life. And I also have a studio here in our small town, so I do in-person shopping events as well.
That's great. I think it's awesome what you've been able to do to build a business in a teeny small town, because I know a lot of people that live in small towns and think, I can't do it because I'm in a small town, but you have done it and proven that you can do it. So how has your business changed in the 5 years? Have there been any major pivots that you've had to make or changes in that 5 years?
A couple years ago, my friends and I found a rental space and we moved into a studio. And so I started working in this studio and had my own space. I moved out of my house, and not too long afterwards, found out that I was going to be having a baby. So that was like a major, major change in our world and our life. And it was a pivot for sure.
Yeah.
Had to figure out how I was going to be a mom and have a baby, but also have this business and grow it and maintain it and make it all work.
Yeah, so you've mastered the work-life balance thing, because I know it's been a struggle, but you know what? It is for everybody, and I think it's great that you're willing to come on and share what you've been able to do and how you've done it. So what are some of the things that you wish you would have known before the baby versus now that, you're running the business and the whole bit? What are some of those?
Oh man, there's a lot I wish I would have done, hindsight. But one of the main things that I wish I would have done was set up more systems and automations. I didn't, well, first of all, I was kind of a fly by the seat of your pants type of person. Like I'd go into the studio and just do whatever needed to be done. I didn't have a lot of stuff planned. I made it happen. I made it work, and it worked out well for me. But what I didn't know was that pregnancy can sometimes kick your butt. So
Yes.
what I had intended to do to get prepared, I wasn't able to because I was sleeping all the time. Growing a baby was hard work, and I just didn't have the time or the energy to get some things into place that I wish I would have, like get vendors into place, more wholesale accounts, just so that I had income coming in while I was on mat leave for a bit.
Yeah. So what are some of the systems and processes that now that you're back and you've got the baby that you've put in place? Because it's a big juggling thing now, having a baby, as much as it wasn't being pregnant and going through all the morning sickness and stuff as well, right?
Definitely. So sales funnels are huge, and growing my list, I wish I would have had that all on autopilot, and slowly I'm getting there because I only have a few hours a day, if that, to work on my business now. But definitely fulfillment as well. Fulfillment and shipping would be another huge one. I ended up letting my customers know well in advance that I was pregnant and that I would be taking some time off. So I was able to set the expectation of fulfillment or order processing would be done on specific days or times, so they wouldn't be like, where's my order? Well, in the confirmation email, it has orders will be shipped on this day of the week, so that they knew up front. And there was a pop-up as well, knowing that shipping might take a little bit longer due to the fact that I have a new baby. So
Yeah.
I think that was really important.
So instead of shipping every day, ship once or twice a week instead. Yeah. And then what do you do now as far as promotions and planning ahead instead of going by the seat of your pants? Because I know you're in my mastermind. You are planning ahead because I've followed the story, but share it with our guests.
So I thankfully have an amazing support system. So every Thursday, my son goes to his grandma's and I get to spend a full day of work. And usually I spend my time planning or doing the things that need my full brain capacity. So what I do is I plan out, well, for this quarter, I have planned out all of my sales and promotions for the next 3 months so that I know what I need to do, when I need to do it. And then when I get my chunks of time that I'm able to work, I just hammer out all the details. I also have a list of the products that I need to make, and those things I can generally do at home while he's napping. So I'll make the things at home and plan when he is not at home.
So you become a very organized person and putting systems and processes in place. So what are you planning and scheduling besides your promotions that help you navigate around the baby and work-life balance? Like your email marketing, how far ahead are you doing that, and scheduling?
I email my list once a week, a couple times a month. And so when I know what promotions I have coming up, I often send out an email at the beginning of the month. Hey, this is what's coming up. So here are my events. Here is how you can get in touch with me. And here's the new products for the month. And as long as I can get at least that main inside scoop email out and then a few throughout the month, that's what I can do at this point.
Right. You're flying to the roots that make money.
Absolutely.
That's one of our sayings. You work on what's going to bring the money and the closest things that will do that, the lowest hanging fruit. So what do you do as far as social media? Do you do that each day or do you plan that out? How do you do that?
Now, this is something I was much better at before baby, and it's a struggle to get back into it. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Once you stop doing something, that getting that momentum of consistency is a bit challenging. So I give myself a little bit of grace when it comes to social media. And sometimes I know that it's not all going to be as perfect as I want it to be. But I use a lot of scheduling apps. So I use Planoly, and I will plop a bunch of pictures in there, and I have a bunch of templates or captions that I will plug in there. And generally, when I'm in a good social media streak, I will have a few days planned out, because that doesn't take me a ton of time. I can, if it's sitting on the couch, I can schedule a couple social media posts and know that I have content for the next few days.
That's good. And one of my pieces of advice on this too, for those listening, if your time is limited as far as social media, pick the platforms that are bringing you the most traffic. So in God we trust, all others bring data. Go to your Google Analytics, pick out what's bringing you the most traffic, and those are the areas that you want to focus on sending your social media to, instead of trying to do all the things on all the platforms. Pick the ones. So I know you're using Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, the main ones that are bringing you traffic. Yeah.
Facebook definitely more than Instagram, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting on product-based businesses. I typically find when I get clients to dig into the analytics, and we've had this discussion in the mastermind group, Pinterest is typically one of the big traffic drivers, even over Instagram. Are you finding that? Are you using Pinterest much?
I don't use Pinterest much. I know that that's something that I would like to get into. And I think that if I really utilized it, it definitely would be that traffic source. That would be great on Instagram. I find people on Instagram are looking, but not shopping. And then Facebook, people are shopping from Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Very true. So tell me what you're doing to build your list and grow your customer base, because your business has continually been growing, even through all your hiccups and hurdles and having babies and learning how to navigate. What are you doing? What's your secret hack to building your list and getting more customers, continually bringing people into the pipeline?
I like doing giveaways because, well, everyone loves free stuff, but I specifically do certain products that I'll give away. And anytime I do a giveaway, I always do it on social media, but the main ingredient to it is you have to sign up for the list.
Yeah.
And I've been finding real success there with finding quality leads as well. Also, when I'm at an event, I will host a giveaway. So I've tried a few different things where give away a product, give away a gift card. And if somebody comes to my table, it's, hey, do you want to sign up for my giveaway? And then you'll be part of our VIP list. And that usually is a massive explosion of new emails. And those are people who I know are interested in my product because they've come to my table. They have looked at the products, and eventually it does lead to sales. So it's a really great way to gain new leads.
That's good. And do you do something, if you're not doing events, do you try to do a giveaway online at least once a month? You're trying to continually have a system and process in place for growing the list and customer base?
Oftentimes I'll kind of pick a product that was popular the week or the month before. So if I know that a certain necklace was doing really well, I will give people the incentive to sign up to my list. You could win this necklace. And then from there, if they don't win, I'll send out a little promo code. You weren't the winner. Here is a promo code to get this necklace for yourself. And people seem to like that.
That's good. Well, you've really done a great job at mastering the systems that are important that will continue to grow your business and keep your business humming through all of the challenges. And it's great. I really appreciate you being on the show and sharing that with the customers, because this is a work-life balance is something that comes up all the time. Now, you said something before we started the interview that I think the listeners need to hear about getting help and what that means as a mother, because most of the people are mothers. So share that with the audience, because I think that's really important.
there's a couple things that I do now that I didn't do at the beginning, and that was getting help. I think getting help and asking for help is really hard for a lot of people. I have a bit of trouble with pride, and so I felt like if I asked for help, whether that was help at the studio or helping with orders or helping with my baby, that made me a failure as a mom and as a business owner. And it doesn't at all. Asking for help is the best thing that I have done. And if I didn't ask for help, who knows where we'd all be.
No kidding. That's such good wisdom there, Alex. And it's great that you've got that.
Yeah. And give yourself grace. And that you're not going to get it all done. And your business will still be there if you decide to have an extra long snuggle with your baby. And know that you can grow it and you can be a mom and do it all together.
Yeah, just figuring out the work-life balance. That's great. You've done a great job at that. Where do you see your business going, Alex? What do you want to do with it? Where do you see it going?
I have big plans for my business in my head. I would love to grow my in-person studio. I would love to have some employees because I would love to be a mentor and boss to other people. I have had the privilege of having some amazing mentors and bosses throughout my careers, and they have been such influential people in my life, and really a huge portion of why I'm here today is because of them. And if I can be that to someone else, that would be the best gift ever.
And I can see you doing that with what you've done with your business and been able to sustain it and grow it all these years and be able to turn it into a living. It's great. I think you can do that and you're on your way. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, that you think the listeners need to hear?
Oh, goodness. Get sleep when you can. Okay, let's maybe pause.
What do you use? Let me ask you this. What do you use as a calendar or scheduler to keep your day?
Oh, I like using Asana.
Okay.
And Google Calendar, and then a paper planner.
Okay.
So I often put everything in the paper planner first because I need to physically write things down. Otherwise, they still stay jumbled in my brain. And then I put them into Asana so that I can look at that daily and go, okay, I need to get this done today. Check.
So you've truly put systems in place for even managing your systems and processes. That's great. Yeah.
Because my brain just doesn't work the same now that I've had a baby. And I'm sure so many people can relate to that. So if I don't write it down, it's gone.
Yeah. So when you think about it, you put it there and then transfer it over to the digital. Yeah. That's great. Are there any other tools or resources that you would recommend to the listeners that are trying to grow a business? And
I would have to plug a certain somebody. Her name is Becky J. Anderson.
Oh, I did not ask her to say that. Thank you.
No, because honestly, Becky, you've been a pivotal person in where this business is going. And so if anyone has the opportunity to be in your mastermind or take any of your courses, those honestly, and she's not paying me to say this, have been so important to my business. And I am so grateful for all of them.
Thank you so much for saying that. I did not expect that, but I really appreciate it. You're a sweetheart. It's been nothing but a pure joy working with you this past year in the mastermind. And I'm very grateful for you taking the time to share your story, because it's one that a lot of women feel, but they don't dare come out and ask it or express that it's hard to do it all. And you've done it all, and you're just a champ, and grateful that you shared the story with us today.
So much for the opportunity, Becky.
Glad that you are here. Oh, and before we sign off, let's tell people where they can find you.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, I am at Alex Kathlyn, Kathlyn, not Catherine. And on Facebook, it's Alex Kathlyn Accessories. And you can find me on my website at www.shopaka.ca because I'm in Canada.
That's great. And I'll put all that in the show notes so they can find you, because I'm sure you'll have a lot of people checking you out and reaching out to you. So, all right, my dear, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Becky.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you so much for listening to Product Biz Made Easy. Now, if you'd like to stay connected, please go to Facebook and put in the Product Biz Made Easy and find our Facebook group and join us over there where the conversation keeps going. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Have a great day.